Hello everybody and welcome to the April edition of Digging Up Positivity. This episode is filled to the brink with charity events and fundraisers. And now that most of the world is slowly opening up again, the urge to go out and have fun is real with many of us. When I visited some of them, like Elfia, it was like a reunion from a long lost time. And most of the conversations kinda went like this.
I haven't seen you since the plague.
But besides new events, charities and just plain old outside fun, recently a new furry social network has been rapidly growing, Barq, and the social network has been founded by a Dutch fur, Woutske, who is our Featurette of the month. But now, without further ado, the charities. Being held in February, it took a while to crunch the numbers, but the final amount is known. $14,956.79 have been raised for the Sunny Arbor Cat Rescue, a pro-indoor, no-kill, family-run cat charity based in East Central Scotland. From Mexico, we have our friends at Furnexion, who raised $386 for Corazones Incondicionales, an organization that has a mission to stop abuse and the abandonment and to help young puppies. Up next, we have Motor City Furcon in the US, who raised $25,002.20 for the Hey Monsters Rabbit Sanctuary, a foster-based sanctuary for domestic rabbits specialized in taking on the hard medical cases and neglect situations, but they also help rescue and rehabilitate stray or abandoned rabbits. Justin Paul Reese, who managed to raise over $1,000 during an 8-hour Elden Ring stream and a 12-hour VR stream for the Papabarks fundraiser for ALS. But during the thank you video, he got a big surprise.
$700! Should be using it for student loans, holy crap, but whether to donate to a great cause, I love ya. Yo!
$700. That is some positive vibes right there. Stay awesome, you absolute legend. With this amount, the total raised by Justin was $2,079, which brings the complete total raised by this entire team this year to $45,600, a truly amazing feat by the entire team of Help Them Help Us 2022. I am just humbled by seeing how much good the furry gaming community is doing for the world. You critters are all amazing. Many thanks to Papabarks and his many friends for raising this amount for the fight against ALS. Back to conventions, we have the Golden State Furcon, where 1,758 critters raised $15,000 for Forever Wild Exotic Animal Sanctuary, an organization dedicated to preserving the life of abused, neglected and abandoned exotic animals. I still remember Sonic Adventure fondly. When I got an imported Dreamcast from Japan, I played it a lot. And Adler decided to do a Speedfun run in this very game while raising money for the Cincinnati Tradition Drum and Bugle Corps. This ball of feathers managed to raise a whopping $4,318, an impressive amount, and as Sonic would have said, gotta raise fast. If there is one name that keeps on popping up in fundraising, it is Dog Bomb, and fundraisers for ALS done in his name keep on popping up. Kofulion dutifully walked for ALS for Team Dog Bomb for a long time now, and the last run this month he raised $875 during the Triangle Walk. With every walk organized, with every dollar raised, we may come closer to a cure of this dreadful disease. Because of that dreadful situation in Ukraine, Many had to leave their homes behind, but they found a place where they could stay. But it is a difficult time for them. But it is important, especially now that some moments of joy and happiness are so much needed. Several cosplayers and furries, Karpur, Reddick and Aturu, did just that with Train of Hope, and seeing this really warms my heart. Last month we covered the Art for Ukraine project extensively, and they are showing no sign of slowing down. By now over 120 artists drew more than 500 pieces and raised $26,816 for Ukraine, and this amount is still growing every single day. The coot, or how the Dutch call them, the meerkoet, and as a meerkat I love to call him that. I mean meerkat, meerkoet. But when they are making their little nest, they don't want to be disturbed. And if they are, they often do not accept their new environment. When Iris saw them nestle on a neighbor their boat, she decided she wanted to build a little floating island for them. Since the boat that they were on would not stay there for long, the owner even offered to help. And in the end, the coots did not accept their new nest. However, a new family of ducks was very happy to fill in the spots. And when Easter came around, many fursuiters, especially bunnies, were found all over the place, handing out eggs or helping with those famous egg hunts. This year, in the Dutch city of 's-Gravenzande, I was part of a big group that was spreading chocolate eggs and heaps of joy. However, some might have been seen double, but that's a story for another time. One of the first big announcements for a Dutch event after the big plague was Unifursity. While featured in this show a while back, I do let the organizers do the word once more. Tupsy, have the helm.
Howdy Tabo and viewers, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Tupsy, the T-Rex, event hoster and mind behind Unifursity. With a small team of people, we organize Unifursity of Gaming on a yearly basis in a large arcade in the Netherlands, the Nationaal Video Game Museum in Zoetermeer. The place is a passion project started by two friends in 2008 with a vision: capture the impact and history of gaming. Our concept as an event is relatively simple, but it has its strengths in the simple nature, furries and video games. It's a well-working formula, tried and tested with past editions and recently expanded to welcome more furries to the event. The social interaction becomes a lot more accessible between people when an activity is involved. Though you are not obligated to talk with others. You can play video games the entire afternoon and enjoy the facilities. For some people, we've noticed it's a great way to lower the bar on social interaction. It's very important to us to offer a sense of community, and I want to put emphasis on that. We have also a Fursuit lounge, which means fursuiters are provided with necessary facilities to enjoy the event to its fullest and suit freely. There is also enough opportunity to interact with regular guests and attendees, as they will be attending and free to attend during the day. This can make for some pretty endearing interactions between, for example, children, parents and suitors. After 6, the event is exclusively for Unifursity attendees. Coming the 4th of May marks the 3rd edition of Unifursity of Gaming, and we certainly hope to make it an unforgettable day for everyone.
Know that I will be there. Maybe I'll run into you. One of the comics that I used to read when I was a younger meerkat was Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai, who had quite some ties with the furry fandom. He even was a guest of honor at Eurofurn 16 back in 2010, where I had the honor of meeting him. Throughout the time, the Rabbit Samurai would show up every now and then in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another fan favorite. The series, however, focuses on Yuiji Usagi, a distant descendant of the legendary warrior Miyamoto Usagi. allowing the writers to give the entire universe a new twist. And the transition to 3D surely is different, where the main characters are nicely rendered, the background characters show that they had to work with a little bit of a limited budget, but the 2D segments sure make up for it. I am curious to see how it will end up. It will premiere later this month on Netflix. This month, for Digging Up Positivity, our special guest is from the Netherlands. He recently started a huge furry social network named Barq. His name is Woutske, and well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Woutske, 26 years young, from the Netherlands, and I'm a software developer. I've been developing software for well over 10 years now. I started really young, and I made all kinds of networks, especially for gaming. I had a huge Minecraft forum in the Netherlands, and when I joined the fandom, I thought, oh, maybe I can create another app for the furry community. And then Howler sprawled up, and I just let that happen. And after a while, it started irking again, and I thought, okay, I'll try my best, and I started working on Barq.
Well, that is awesome, because I must admit, when it comes down to dedicated furry social networks, it really is a welcome change of pace. But back to yourself for now. How did you get to know the furry fandom?
Yeah, it was pretty funny, actually. I was very active on the internet community, so I was doing a lot of programming forums, and I did a lot of Minecraft gaming. And I actually met my boyfriend through there. And that was because I changed my profile image to a furry avatar, because I was browsing Reddit one day, and then I went to r/all, and I kept on doom scrolling until I met some kind of furry comic, and I found it very cute, and I started reading more comics, and I ended up on the r/furry community, and from then it only got worse, and now I'm here.
Well, it's not often that I meet furries that actually got into the fandom through the Reddit community, but that's nice to hear. When it comes down to Barq, what inspired you to create it?
One of the things I found very funny, actually, is that I joined the furry community via the internet, so via Reddit. I was following it for a few years, and then I went to the first meetup in the Netherlands, and I met a lot of nice people. And then I went to conventions, and I met more nice people. And when Howler came up, I saw a lot of other furries nearby and in the Netherlands, but a lot of them I've never saw on conventions, or I never saw at meetings or other things. And there were so many furries that did not join apps or join other conventions I went to. So I was curious, how many do we have in Europe, and how many do we have all over the world, and why didn't they join the other apps? And then I started looking at what we had, and a lot of furry communities were quite old-fashioned, so very web-based. And everyone is on his phone nowadays with the Telegram and Twitter. So I thought, I want a mobile-first approach. And I was looking for Howler, maybe join that team, but it was very quiet, it seemed a bit dead, the project. So I thought, might as well create my own then. And that's how I started with the idea of Barq. And it was the quest to bring furries close together, do more regular meetups. I had a lot of weekly meetups with furries to go to a cafeteria and grab some drinks or do board games, and it was a lot of fun. And then people started moving, and I wanted to make more friends in the fandom because they're quite like-minded. And I thought, maybe I can make a social app more focused on events and on the actual coming together and sharing of interests, instead of the other apps that are more focused on art or a bit more dating wise.
The other apps were either towards the creative community or very much towards hooking up with each other. But seeing Barq with the event-minded approach, that was really a unique selling point, and I really do enjoy seeing that. And I'm actually I created the Euroferns event page, and it is running storm. I well over 1,000 furs registered on that page already. And for a relatively new social network like Barq, that is awesome. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, I'm also very amazed by how quickly it got off. I created the gaming community there just for fun, and it has over 12,000 members now. And one of the fun things is that we started with this idea, the event focused, then we had some redesigns, because we have big ambitions, we have a lot of ideas, but we have limited development capacity, so we're growing now. We have more developers and a new team to start working on more features. And just as we thought, okay, maybe we should focus a little bit more on the profiles, and then after that do the communities, and after that fix the conventions and the events. That's also when Howler shut down, and we got a lot of new users from Howler totally focused on the profile aspect and the meeting, the local meeting and stuff like that.
Oh.
And that quite sort of buried the whole convention and event idea. But it's
but
next
it
on
is
the list.
good to approach it through a agile approach, like just bite-sized updates and focus on the smaller items instead of doing everything at once. I've seen so many software projects in my days going down because they wanted to do too much too fast. Your approach is working quite fine so far. But besides the wish list of Barq, which is rather big, do you have a wish list of your own? A bucket list of things that you still want to do in the fandom?
I still want to go to more international conventions. Like I went to MFF once, but it was very short convention, and I'd like to go to more of the Furcon or BLSC or something. And I like to visit more of my international friends. So the London Furmeet is, I heard very good things about it, and I have a lot of friends in that area. Now that COVID is opening up a little bit more, I like to do that. Yeah, I know my boyfriend has been there, and he's very excited about it, so I can't wait.
Awesome.
One of the other things is I did actually have a few quotes for Fursuit, but I'm still not sure whether or not I should do it, because it's quite expensive, and I don't really know if it would fit me. So it's a bucket list thingy, very at the bottom. Maybe one day, but for now I'll just focus on traveling and on developing Barq.
That is already a very, very big goal.
Yeah, it's a very ambitious goal. I have a lot of plans, and we're growing quite fast right now, so I had to slow it down even a little bit to make sure we're not dying under our own success.
So far, you seem to have the right approach for that. And of course, besides joining Barq, do you have any other recommendations for new people in the fandom or in general?
Yeah, one of the things I can really recommend is to try to meet up with people in persons, like the smaller meetups in your area or smaller conventions. You meet people at the smaller conventions. I think the big conventions are a lot of fun, but it's more like a Comic-Con. It's very big, a lot of small stalls and a dealer's den and walking around. But if you don't actually know people, it can be a little bit lonely maybe. So the smaller meetups in your area are a lot of fun. And another recommendation is what I found out also in my journey with growing out Barq is that Twitter is a fun place to look at pictures of fursuits and other stories of people. But there's also a lot of the typical furry drama and things, and don't get too caught up in that. It's basic social media advice, but as with all the social media, try to balance it with real life experiences, and then you will see that the real life fandom is a whole different story than the online fandom. So try to balance.
Yes. And that is a very, very good and solid advice. With that, I would like to thank you very much for being on the show. I hope we stay in touch, and I'm keeping a close eye on the further developments of Barq. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting me over.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Thank you very much for sticking around till the very end of this video. I always enjoy seeing you here. And if you would like to support this channel more, go to my Patreon or Subscribestar or buy something from my merch store. All links are in the Linktree below. And I will be ever so thankful, especially towards these following people: Cosmic with a K, Els Dekkers, Falconeo, Hanzana, Ishnula, Kitaku, Manic, Tantru McNally, Tyros, and Scorechaser. The next Digging Up Positivity will be on the 28th of May. Hope to see you there. Stay awesome, and of course, all the hugs.